Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Relationships Anonymous podcast. This is a chill, judgment free podcast where we will chat about relationships, dating experiences and struggles, and what we've learned from them. Today, I have Stephanie with me, and she has kindly offered to come on to this podcast and share her stories with us. So, to get us started, can you give us a little bit of information on your background?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm in my early 30s. I work in finance in New York City, and I come from a East Asian, Vietnamese, Chinese background.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, yeah, me too. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, let's dive right in. Are you currently in a relationship or are you dating?
Yeah, I'm currently in a relationship. My boyfriend and I have officially been together for a month, but we've been dating. I don't know what part of the country you're from, but dating in New York City is so confusing. We've actually been dating for 7 months, but we just made our relationship official last month.
Okay.
And so yes, I have a boyfriend right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in a much smaller city on the East Coast, so I'm sure it's a lot different from New York
Right.
dating. I've visited New York quite a few times, and I love it. It's always so fun to visit and try all the different foods there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, New York is awesome. It's my favorite place I've ever lived. I love it here. If you're ever in town, let me know.
Okay.
I'd love to meet up. But
yeah,
I would say dating is the worst part of being here.
I've actually heard that. I've heard that a lot about big cities like New York, LA, San Fran.
Yeah, amazing how horrible it is. There's so many people and nobody is right for anybody.
Yeah. It's too many choices, and you're there will be so many better.
Yeah, I think everyone goes through that, and at a certain point, you have to find, if you're burnt out on that, that's when you'll finally find someone, and you need to find someone who's also burnt out on that.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, I've been on, I got out of my last serious relationship last August, and then I took a couple months to heal and find myself. And then I decided okay, I'm in my early 30s. I need to take dating seriously. I'm gonna be so type A about this. So I downloaded 6 apps, and I was so active on all of them. And I was tracking my dates, and I was so swiping. And I went on so many dates. In January of this year, in the month of January, I went on 32 first dates.
Wow, that's a lot of dates.
It didn't move me closer to the finish line, because after date 12, I stopped remembering anyone's name. I stopped remembering anything specific about anyone. It was just I was going on sometimes 2 or 3 dates in the same day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend that. I thought I was gaming the system, but I was actually just exhausting myself for no reason.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite dating app that you've tried?
I think my favorite is Hinge.
Okay.
Just because it's not a swiping based platform. You have to read through the prompts or actually like a specific photo. So it gives the person a bit more insight into what you liked about their profile. And I like that you don't necessarily have to match to swipe. You don't have to swipe on someone who swiped on you and then you match. You can see everyone who liked you, regardless of whether you would have swiped on them or not. And I like that because sometimes I don't know right away if I want to swipe on someone until but if they indicate that they like me, then I can look at their profile. I can decide if I want to give them a chance or not based on like what I see rather than making like a split-second decision.
Yeah, okay. And like, what would you say like stood out to you the most about, I guess, swiping on your boyfriend kind of thing?
Well, I actually didn't meet him on Hinge. I met him on Coffee Meets Bagel. Like,
Oh, okay. I love Coffee Meets
really...
Bagel.
Oh, do you do?
Yes.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Coffee Meets Bagel too. I think Hinge and Coffee Meets Bagel are like the more intentional apps.
Yes.
Yeah, whereas Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, and all these other apps are just a lot more shallow and like appearance based.
Mm-hmm.
But what stood out to me about my boyfriend was his smile, I think. For me, I don't know if like anyone else has these weird rules for themselves about dating apps, but if someone doesn't have any pictures of them smiling with teeth, I will not swipe right on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a lot of like really genuine like toothy smiles. So yeah, that's why I swiped on him.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, teeth are very important.
Yeah,
and
just
yeah.
Like if their lips are sealed in every picture, I'm like, what? You're hiding something.
You're hiding something. Yeah.
Or if they have like a hat on in every picture, I'm like, you're bald. Or I don't know. But if you're bald, at least show me and own it. Don't like, I don't know. Yeah. I want to know what I'm signing up for.
Yeah. So yeah, how was the first date?
On our first date, we went to K-Town and we went to a pocha, so one of those like Korean pubs. Oh. And I had been, when I met him, I was going on dates with someone else. So I was like, I had gone on 4 or 5 dates with someone else at that point, and that person was just like green flags all around. They were, you know, well employed, they were educated, they were so nice, so polite, so proper, and I was like really trying to force it with that person because on paper they made so much sense and they were a very responsible choice. But I had no chemistry with them. And
yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it was. I actually met my boyfriend the week after Valentine's Day, so I spent Valentine's Day with this other person. And, like, they were continuing to ask me out week after week, and I was getting to the point where I was just like, why do they even like me? Like, I feel like we don't even have that much fun together. But they just made so much sense that I was like, they're so nice, they're so polite and gentlemanly, and they clearly like me a lot. They pay for everything. Maybe I should just marry this person. And it was like getting to the point where I was telling my best friend, like, if I keep saying yes to going on dates with this person, I'm going to marry them. Like, that's the direction that this is going. And then I went on this first date with my current boyfriend, and I had hoped that he would, like, cancel the date last minute because he was not a good texter.
Oh, I hate that texter.
Yeah. He wasn't a good texter, and he like wasn't catching on to any of my flirty texts. Like, I would text him something like flirtatious, and he would answer me literally. And I would be like, "You're really bad at this," and he was like, "No, you just don't get what I'm saying." So I was like, "I hope that this guy just doesn't text me on the day of the date, and I can just stay home." But he texted me like confirming the date, and I was like, "Fine, I'll go." So I went, we met at the pocha, and immediately, like, it like reminded me what chemistry felt like. And we had like so much fun, and we had such good like banter, and like I was very attracted to him, and we just like the conversation flowed so easily, and we just like made each other laugh. And that night I like called it off with the other guy. I think it was a good first date.
Yeah, I think that's all a first date needs to be like. I just don't want it to be like an interview. That's it. I just want to have fun.
And it's so rare that happens. I think like first dates, I've been on so many at this point that I don't know. I feel like I can tell in the first like 5 minutes whether it's going to be a fun date or like an interview date.
Right.
And I think the interviews are a lot more common, yeah.
Like, I feel like guys need to understand, like, please, like, keep it as far away from an interview feeling as possible.
Right. I mean, if you feel like, I don't know. Like, who do you think you are? Like, are you a job at Google? What is going on here? Yeah, I feel you. It's so weird these days, especially as we get older. And I feel like people are taking dating more seriously as we get older, and like we need to find someone. It's just like it sucks the fun out of all of it, and it's such a shame.
Yeah. I feel like guys, not to like hate on guys, but I feel like guys need to like take some kind of like relationship class or dating class. Or like
we are doing all the work.
Right?
We're seriously doing all the work, yeah. And like they should at least be thankful that like we're doing all the heavy lifting. Like I follow so many relationship Instagram accounts. I've read so many books. I've gone to so much therapy, and I don't know a single like I don't know if I highly doubt my boyfriend is following a single relationship like page on Instagram or has read a single page of a relationship book.
Right? I don't think so. I don't get that feeling from the guys I date either. I feel like they're like following finance, exercise.
Yeah, freaking like New York Times. Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I wish they would like, learn more about relationships and like women in general, like how we're different from them and like how we think. Because men or women are just like, we're like the same, but we're also different. It's like, I feel like it's just confusing.
The way that it's so confusing. And I don't think it's purely biological. I just think that the different ways that we're both raised in society just causes us to think so differently.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's almost as if we're two completely different species sometimes.
Yeah. So I've heard like compatibility, but also like complementing is very important in two people. What are some ways that you feel like you guys complement each other?
I agree with that statement. I have gone on dates with people before, and like we've mutually decided not to continue because we were basically the same person. Just like, we're so similar in too many ways that like what is each of us bringing to the other person that the other person doesn't have already. So I think I'm like the eldest daughter in an Asian family. So I tend to approach everything in my life with a lot of like assertiveness and like leadership. And I guess like if you're familiar with like masculine versus feminine energies, I think I have a lot of masculine energy. Okay. Which is not to say that I'm like manly, but I take a lot of lead, and I'm very like high achieving, and I take on the role of like a provider and a caretaker a lot of the times for like my family and a lot of my friends. So that's really hard for me to turn off, and I'm like that like with everyone. So I find that I naturally attract men more in their feminine energy. Okay. Meaning that not that they're feminine people, but like they tend to like, they're happy to let me take the lead in a lot of stuff. And like, they're a lot more passive, and maybe they don't really care about being high earners very much. And they like success and career success doesn't tend to define them as much as like, your typical masculine man. And I think society has really taught me that that's like not the kind of man I should be going after because of like, the leads that we see in movies and the K-dramas. Like all those men are like masculine almost to like a fault. Like they're toxic in a way. But because I consumed a lot of that media, like that's the kind of person that I was taught to want and that I should want. And I was taught that I should be treated a certain way. Like I should never have to pay for meals, and I should never have to open my own door and stuff like that. But I'm not really comfortable like being a flower like that. And
okay.
I've tried, like, when I thought that I need to find this person and I need to be treated this way, I went on dates for like 6 months pretending to be someone I wasn't. And I pretended to be like this very delicate, submissive person on dates. And I pretended to be wowed and impressed with everything that my date said and everything he talked about, even if like I had literally achieved the same thing or better. And, I made them feel so like big and strong and impressive. And I think the sad part about that is that I was treated a lot better by all the guys I met during that time. Like, I never had to like play the game of like, offering to split or anything, or no one asked me to split a bill during that time. Like, they were all so happy to pay. Guys were helping me into my coat, and guys were opening car doors for me and stuff like that. And I had never had that kind of treatment before, but it came at the cost of having to like completely change who I was. And I really didn't like that. And I was really sad that like, just like see this reality. But after thinking about it, I was like, it's not worth it. Like, I feel like I'm dying inside because I'm like suppressing who I am and everything that makes me proud of like who I am. Like, I like the fact that I'm high achieving and that I'm kind of like an assertive, opinionated person. And I want someone who appreciates that about me. And yeah. So I guess like my current boyfriend, he doesn't fit like that macho stereotypical like provider caveman stereotype. But like I think the main thing is he lets me be myself, and I feel very comfortable being exactly who I am with him. And I'm like kind of neurotic and intense, and I guess to go back to your question about compliments, he's not intense at all. And I love that about him because I can like go from 0 to 100 in like a second. And sometimes that's a good thing, but oftentimes it's a bad thing. Like, I'm like spiraling out over the littlest thing. And he's very good about stepping in and showing me that like it doesn't have to be the end of the world, that it's actually like a very little thing that we can fix very easily. And he's just like calm waters, and I really like need that in my life.
Okay. I wonder is he more like introverted? Because I know you're more of an extrovert.
He's actually a lot more extroverted than I am.
What?
He's just like, yeah.
Okay.
He loves to like spend time with people and like, big group settings and stuff like that. I can only take so much of that. I much prefer one-on-one like this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he just like, things just roll off his shoulders so much easier than me. Like, I tend to dwell on little things. And
same.
Yeah. Maybe that's a girl thing. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's really nice because he is much more of like a big picture kind of person. And he's told me more than once when I'm like really upset about something like small that I've made into a big thing in my head. He's told me multiple times, like, this does not deserve the mental real estate that it's taking up in your head. So it's just like think about something else, and thinking of it like that, I'm just like, yeah, it is taking up so much space that I'm like giving it so much space.
Yeah.
So it's been really helpful to me.
Yeah, it's so nice to have someone who can like remind you of that. It's like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, or like show me from like what my problem, which looks like in my eyes the end of the world.
Yeah.
In anyone else's eyes, it's literally like it's just a problem that can be fixed very easily, and it doesn't have to like ruin my life.
Yeah.
I don't have to like burn the house down because of this.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like we like get stuck in our own heads a lot, and it's just like so nice to have someone to like help you get out or step out.
Yeah, for sure. And for someone as like hyper independent as I am, as I've always been, I think this is a way that someone could really like come in and add a lot to my life. Like I obviously like I don't need this in my life, but it makes my life so much better when I have that counterweight to just like how intense my thoughts can be. And I think I've learned over my like long convoluted dating history that is what I need in a partner. If I do have a partner, that's like the biggest way they can make a difference in my life.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that, in the sense that like we need to find, like, everyone needs to find a partner who like makes them better, in a sense.
Yeah,
like,
otherwise what's the point?
Yeah, true.
Like, what's the point of giving away all your weekends and like investing all your like extra time and energy that you could be doing so many other things in this person if they don't like enhance your life?
And like the feminine and masculine energy that you were talking about before. I read something about that too, in the sense that like the author was saying how like everybody has feminine and masculine energy, and I guess like it's just we turn it on more in certain areas of our life, or certain things, like us women, when we go to work, we turn on our masculine energy because we gotta make the dough and be stronger and be not as like in our feelings, and more like logical, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, this is a concept that I just learned about recently, and it spoke to me so much. Like it made so many things in my life make sense to me. I was like, oh, that's like what you call it. Like that's what I am. And like not only at work, I've heard that women turn on their masculine in motherhood too.
Oh, okay.
And that makes total sense, right? Like they're constantly keeping everyone in line, keeping the schedule organized, and getting everyone out the door, keeping everyone healthy. Like they're running the ship. That's very masculine. But I guess like the way that we have to code switch in the different areas of our life just makes everything like it's another thing to think about.
Yeah. And like society's changed so much, with like women, coming back not coming back, but like going into the workforce, and like being more prevalent in the workforce, that it's like so confusing, because it used to be very like defined, like men make the money, women stay home. And now it's just like confusing, like who's gonna do what task, It's just like it's hard to like divide, and it's hard to like figure out, because everyone has different opinions on it, and like everyone wants different things. So
for sure, I think that's a big reason why dating is so awful right now.
Yeah,
is because everyone's so confused. Like the more equal women become in society, the more confused everyone is.
Yeah.
Like guys don't know, like a lot of guys don't know whether they should still be paying for dinner. Like a lot of women make more money than the men they're going on dates with. So like, does it make sense for guys to still pay for dates? So I don't know, what is your opinion on that? I think about that all the time. I'm just like, because I earn decent money in New York. I'm not like, a millionaire, but I'm not struggling either. And when I did go on dates, I would always ask myself, like, does it make sense for me to sit there as if I need a provider when the check comes? Or should I offer this? I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm so confused.
For me, I've always been like, for the first date, the guy needs to pay.
Okay.
And then second date, it would be nice if he paid, but I mean, and I guess first date, I would offer, but like I would expect him to pay. Like if he didn't pay, I'd be like, I'm like question mark about the second date.
It's like that was a test and you failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like the thoughts that run through my head on first dates, I'm just like, if they could hear my inner monologue, it would be so funny.
Because it's just like us women, like we have to like put on makeup, do our hair, like figure out what we want to wear, and we spend so much money on our outfits, our makeup, and everything that we do, like our nails, to make us like more beautiful, and like just like it's just so much work, and it's just like you should pay for the first date.
You make a good point.
I prepared all of this beforehand.
You make an excellent point, because on my first date with my boyfriend, now that I think about it, he commented so many times. He was like, "Oh my God, you're dressed so much nicer than me." And I was like, say that one more time, because I have regrets now. Like, I was wearing this like nice, like off the shoulder bodysuit and like makeup. My hair looked great. I was wearing like a nice coat. He was wearing a hoodie and a baseball cap.
No, a hoodie on a first date. Oh my gosh.
His favorite hoodie, but still a hoodie. But yeah, I guess his charisma really carried him through, because here we are. Yeah, you make a really good point. We do spend a lot. We do invest a lot in like, and it's not like we do it out of choice. Like, we're expected to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like society. It's like expectation of society for women, basically. Yeah, totally. Oh.
Yeah, like if we didn't, if we showed up on a date the same way a guy did, we'd be judged so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
I can't. Hoodie on a date? Can you imagine a girl in a hoodie and a baseball cap on a date? Like, no.
If he listens to this, he's gonna be like, "It was my nicest hoodie."
Well, good thing he had, other things going for him.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yeah. Are there any other dating, like maybe good or bad dating experiences that you wanted to share? Maybe bad.
Yeah.
We should talk about some bad ones.
I have so many. Like, I can't even count them anymore. But I think like the biggest lesson I learned in dating, I think, like I said before, I'm like a pretty opinionated person, and something I've learned, and that my best friend, like I'll come back from my first dates and tell her about them, and a pattern she's noticed that she like has begged me to stop doing is to don't ever talk about politics on a first date. So I have like ruined many a date by like allowing the conversation to go into politics. And yeah, just never. Even if you agree, like if you're both on the same side of the spectrum, one of you is going to have stronger beliefs. One of you is going to wish the other person cared more about something. And it's like the fastest way to kill the vibe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like the mood has been killed so many times on first dates where like I find out that they don't care about a certain thing, and I'm just like, I think another thing I've learned is even if I'm like offended, or if they've like accidentally offended me, or I decided that like I don't like them as a person during the date, like there was one date that it like completely soured because of a political thing, and I like didn't want to be there anymore. He could tell I didn't want to be there anymore. The check came, and I normally always like at least offer to split it, but I was just like, heck no, I'm not gonna no. So the check came, and he kind of felt that from me, so neither of us moved to like touch the check for like minutes.
Oh.
And we were just both sitting in silence, staring at the check. And I was like, I am not gonna lose this game. So, and the waitress came and checked on us, like wanted to take the check like multiple times, and she could like neither of us put our card down. And like finally he like was like, and he like took his card out and put it down. And then I was like, all right, thanks, bye. And I like left. But I felt kind of bad about that later, because like I came all the way out, he came all the way out, and like I think women have a lot more control over how a date goes than like they think they do.
Oh, really?
Like I think like as the more like emotionally in tune like gender,
okay,
I think even if we're like, there's, even if there is going to be no second date and we know that, like, I think we have a lot of power to just like allow the night to end on like a peaceful note. And moving forward, even if I didn't love the first date, I don't want to go on a second date with this person. I'm never going to ruin the night for them.
Okay.
Like, I'll be pleasant. I will hold my tongue, and I'll just like make sure that we banter, and I'll be polite and, you know, charming, and I'll thank them for the night, and then I'll go home. Like, I'm not going to ruin anyone's night like that again.
Yeah, I feel like I deal with that too. It's kind of hard to like, because at least for me, like, I feel like my feelings kind of show, and it's hard to hide my feelings. I feel like I wear my heart on my sleeve, and you can tell like how I'm feeling about you. So like, yeah, I struggle with that, and definitely I'm like working on that. I'm like, oh, don't like if you're unhappy or like, I don't know, a little like disagreement like with them, don't like kind of like show it too much, I guess.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think the fact that you wear your heart on your sleeve, there's like a certain charm about that too. Like, I like people like that because like there's, you know, people who can sugarcoat so effectively. There's like something like, I don't know, it makes it harder to trust what you're getting from them. But I guess like on a first date, you don't know this person that well, so I don't really care as much. Like, but I would say, like, because I'm, like, so good at putting on, like, a friendly face, even if I'm not feeling it, I have had to, like, draft a breakup text that I just, like, copy and paste and send to, like, I've sent it to so many people. Because they will, at the end of the day, like, they'll think it went really well. They'll think that I had a really good time when, like, I've already decided there won't be a second date. So I've had to send that text a lot. And I think that's probably, like, the price you pay for being, like, kind of good at taking it.
Yeah. Dating is so hard. Oh, my gosh.
I know. I feel so lucky to have found my boyfriend, but also, like, kind of scared that if it doesn't work out, I'll have to do it all over again. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I just want to be here for a while. But yeah, it's hard. I like empathize with anyone going through it, especially in big cities like New York. It's literally like the Hunger Games out here. Like it's so competitive, it's so cutthroat, and it's so like your feelings get hurt all the time, and you just have to like your resilience is tested every day. Like you just have to decide either to just keep going or decide to quit forever and just like give up on finding someone.
Do you feel like there's like, do you notice there's like if there's more women or men in New York? I don't know if that's a thing.
No, it is a thing. I heard that there are more women in New York City than there are men. So like, I've actually heard this from like a lot of like, not a lot, but a few of like the, you know, less favorable men I've matched with, where they're just like, why are you acting so picky? Like, you guys don't really have options. We do.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, great, right? It's so great. Why didn't I settle down with that guy?
Yeah, it makes you so attractive.
Yeah. I'm like, what was he expecting me to say? Like, oh, my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Didn't notice.
Yeah, but there's, like, noticeably more women than men in New York, more single women than men. And then I've heard in San Francisco, where actually my family is, and this is like a statistic they use to try to get me to move back, that it flips in San Francisco. There's a lot more single men than single women in San Francisco.
I've heard of that because of like tech industry over there. Right? Okay, yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that'll be my backup plan. If this doesn't work out, I'll just move right back and like try my luck there.
Yeah, that's. I'm so glad you found your person, and like really congratulations. It's like getting like a raise from your job, or like it's like,
oh, thanks.
It's like awesome, yay! Like, yeah, I think because it's just so hard. So like totally congrats on that, because
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I will say, like, you know, I've been dating since I was like 21, so like over a decade now. And every relationship, I've been in like a handful of serious relationships, like 1, 2, 3. I've been in 3 serious relationships now. And like, yeah, I learned huge lessons from everyone that has like gotten me closer and closer to what I'm really looking for. And yeah, even though this relationship is fairly new, it's like very clear that it already feels the best out of all of them. And I think that's the goal. Like, every new relationship should feel better and better than the one before it. And yeah, so I'm happy. I feel like really cozy, comfy in this relationship, and I hope that, yeah, I'm just trying not to like repeat my past and trying not to make the same mistakes.
Yeah. Okay, so because of timing, this episode has to come to an end, but it's been so fun chatting with you, Stephanie. And I guess to end the episode, what would you say are some things that you've learned from your past relationships that you want to share with other women who are, you know, dating and struggling with dating?
I mean, like, I feel you. Keep going. It's like, if you're feeling like giving up, just keep going. But like, I think for my journey, the most important lessons I've learned are just like, don't try to be anyone that you're not. Like, the right person will appreciate you for who you are. You don't have to pretend or be anything that society is telling you to be. Like, you are who you are for a reason, and it has served you well. And like, you deserve someone who appreciates exactly who you are. And yeah, and I would say, like, working on myself and learning to love myself, as cliche as it is, has really, really helped me surround myself with the right people and find like a good partner. Because in the past, the reason a lot of my last relationships like crashed and burned is because I wasn't the only one who did this, but I would like put a lot of my own issues, like I would make that their responsibility to fix. And like all of the bad feelings I had in myself, it became their job to make me feel better, and vice versa. And when I learned to like heal myself and to love myself and be able to soothe and comfort myself through a lot of like inner stuff, it just made it a lot more peaceful. And like, instead of making it their job, I would just ask for their help. And just like, if I see them struggling with something, like I'll be there to like support my partner, but I'm not going to make it my job to rescue them, you know?
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, and thank you for coming on. It's been so fun. That was like,
this is super fun.
I've learned so much from just that conversation, and it's been so fun chatting. Yeah, so we'll end the episode here.
Alrighty.
Okay.